Danielle, thank you for joining me today on this episode of the Real Women podcast. I'm so excited to see you.
Oh, I'm so excited to see you, Ashley, and like everything, especially with the Real Woman, what you've been doing. I'm so blown away over the years,
Oh,
so
thank
I'm
you.
excited to be here.
Well, thank you. And we've actually virtually met before, at least once. I can't remember if we did a couple of sessions, but we did at least once because we did a kind of a crossover episode with the TV Herstory with Cynthia Bemis Abrams. And we had you on for a little series we did there, which was so much fun. I loved everything you said.
Yeah, well, I had a blast on there. I'm like, especially during the pandemic, it was
Yeah.
around that time.
Yep,
So
exactly.
it's so great to, to be able to be a part of it. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I'll post the link to the original series and the original episode for if anybody wants to listen to it. But let's just kind of dive in. Like you were originally profiled back, I think it was June 2020. So it's been a couple years now since we interviewed you. What have you been up to since then?
Oh my God. Well, during that, whole pandemic, it really changes people
Yeah,
a lot of
it
times.
does.
Well, just to kind of be like slower pace and just, and kind of and have the time really to be creative and and just to start writing, more again. So yeah, since then, I've been just, still, producing projects and helping other filmmakers get their start. The Haunted My Insomniac we finished and, completed. So it's like just kind of navigating through that and trying
Great.
to promote it. I know a lot of things like especially it was a standstill with like the Writers Guild and everything with
Mm-hmm.
the strike, so a lot of people couldn't really
Yep.
promote a lot of their stuff. But yeah, yeah, still doing projects, working on Newark LGBTQ Film Festival. I'm a part
Great.
of. I'm a board
That's
member
right.
at the center. So we're getting to launch that in April, and just been a busy time
I
related to that.
bet. Yeah, oh, I didn't realize it was coming up so soon. April. Okay. We'll have to share out the details when you have them with everybody.
Awesome. Yeah,
Very cool, very cool. So I know that you kind of do a little bit of everything. You were talking about writing, talking about producing, like which which kind of create and you don't have to pick just one, but I'm just curious, like which creative route do you prefer? Like what is your passion?
oh yes, that's a good question. Like, my younger days, I was kind of like I wanted to do kind of just all the different things with being a writer and like
Yeah.
director and like a DP. It was kind of crazy. And then, as I gotten older, I learned about, a sense of a community and working with people and getting ideas and, and sharing that with others. So the best part, I think, I love producing. I
Yeah.
love that whole thing of like helping, another person get their start and being a part of that whole
Yeah.
creative process.
Yeah.
But my passion I'm trying my best to kind of get back into is directing and
Okay.
that sort of thing, man, writing. So
Do you have a story of, and I know you work with youth, which is incredible. At least you have in the past. I don't know if you still do, but do you have a story of a time when you produced something for helping somebody else have share their voice that just has impacted you?
oh wow, my goodness, it's like so hard. But I was like, you know, I'm trying my best, especially this one student I had, this is my 6th year of teaching at
Yeah.
Orange High School. And she was a part of the first year class and she's great. She's in her early 20s now. And, she's a filmmaker and a really great DP. So I've been helping her
Oh
get
wow.
her start and getting, yeah, part of different crews and projects for NJPAC and other, projects. But, she has her own original content that she's trying to get off the ground. So I'm
Mm.
helping her navigate through that. And I think that's pretty much my, proudest moment, I think, just
Wow.
kind of seeing that person. And, I used to be that if I didn't have any pretty much like somebody that helped me. I kind of just navigated on my own. And I
Yeah.
think like if I was, in that position at a young age and I had somebody, like myself, a teacher to help out, probably been a lot further. I
Yeah.
mean, or it took me a while. But yeah.
So, it sounds like you're a huge advocate for mentorships, which is incredible. And I think that especially for the up and coming creatives, I think having somebody to lean on, someone like yourself, somebody that's gone through it, I think is huge. So good for you for spending. It's extra work, right? It's taking it out of your personal time. So good for you for doing that.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. So thinking back then over the years, over whether it's just since we interviewed last or it could be before then, what's a lesson that you've learned that has just stayed with you and helped you become a better creative and a better filmmaker? And with that, like, how what advice could you have for other women that might be going through it, might haven't maybe haven't even gone through that experience yet? Like, what's something that you could then use to share that's a teachable moment for other women in the industry?
Yeah, I would say, oh my gosh, because in my younger days, it was like we just talked about before, I was kind of just like wanting to be like come out of my own
Yeah.
person, like, oh, I can do it all. And then, as I gotten older, I think I've learned how to just like to listen, to have patience, and to kind of a sense of community, at a
Yeah.
team, and even with Natalie, she was a part of the New York Filmmakers Group. We used to have that Facebook group, and now it's Pano.
Yeah.
But I, but I got a reference from one of the creators of that organization, Pano, with the editor Natalie, and she's does visual effects, and it was the first kind of time that for me to work with somebody that's like an editor. It's like, here you go, here's your all the footage, and like you kind of put it together,
Yeah.
and it just made me kind of think. I'm like, oh my god, and she was able to kind of just take all my notes and just what I thought about, and like just go the extra mile with that. And I
Mhm.
think that for us, this especially women filmmakers, and kind of having more people a part of that team and working together, I think it makes us stronger, I think, as a community. And so I think that's something I kind of learned throughout the way, and
Mhm.
kind of, yeah. So
I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And I have a question, and uh, it sounds like I would assume that you've had experience both with other colleagues and collaborators, both men and women. And again, I don't want to discount the impact that men have, especially allies to both women and other marginalized communities. So I don't want to ignore that huge impact. But do you feel that when you are collaborating with other women, that there's a different sense of collaboration?
yeah, definitely. That's an excellent question, because I had an experience, recently. I worked with a filmmaker, a male filmmaker, and he was also part of the community and everything, LGBT community, and but it was kind of hard, especially because they have I don't know, in terms of just like as a woman, as being a producer, you have ideas and you have experience and everything. And it feels like sometimes it's been a kind of a male dominating, business. So they have kind of a mindset of thinking of, oh,
Yeah.
that person doesn't really, even though you might have like a long list of credits and stuff or background. But when you're working with, women, producers and creatives,
Hmm.
stuff like that, is a different thing. They don't even, they just look at you as the person, and they know what your worth is and your value to that production. And it's such a great, just a mix of that, and just kind of bouncing ideas off of each other, and a sense of community. I feel like that it's not like a kind of like a negative working with the males and male
Hmm.
producers
Hmm.
and things like that. But I think for women, it's like it's a different experience, a better
Yeah.
experience, I think, for me
Yeah.
personally. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree. I've felt something similar when I've had at least more females on a crew than not. So I love that. Um, what are you working on now? What does the future look like? What does Let's see. What 3.5 years ago is when we did the original interviews. 3.5 years from now, where do you want to
Right.
be?
Oh my God. So I'm, doing a lot of advocacy work. I
Amazing.
just did, I was at the equity conference. It was a very, surprising moment, because I didn't expect it, but it was like an award for equality champion, helping out with the
Wow.
advocacy work for the youth. And so I've been doing a lot of like, just having meetings and with other organizations. But I'm kind of, right now working on a nonprofit, like a
Okay.
PL film camp to help with the youth, and get their
Oh,
projects going.
that's
And so
amazing.
that's something I'm looking forward for, like, for next year. But yeah, it's and I'm working on a project, a feature film, license registration. It's LGBTQ feature, that I'm seeking funding, and trying to especially reach out to different grants, and to be able to fund it. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to
Oh,
with
I
that.
love that. I love that. And so when you're starting to work on some more of your projects, like from a director standpoint, do you have anything you want to share about what you're working on there?
Oh yeah. So yeah, in terms of directing, that's the project that I'm working on. I wrote and directed, and But yeah, I'm always looking for more opportunities. So anybody that's watching this
There we go.
video, if
There
you're
we go.
looking for a director,
There we go.
I always have room, for that.
Good.
I'm also, oh, sorry, and I totally forgot, but I'm collaborating again because during the pandemic, it was kind of like at a standstill for the
Uh-huh.
project Cataclysm Begins. And it's a web series that they, reached out to me to be a producer on. So I'm helping out with locations and getting that going. And that's been a fun experience. So, yeah.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Do you have a website we can share out or a reel or anything? So if somebody is looking for a director,
Um,
they know where to find you?
Also, if you go on the website, peelentertainment.com, you can see all the
Perfect.
projects that we're, doing. And also, social media on Instagram, D227, if anybody wants to follow or, reach out there.
Great, great. We'll include all this in the notes so folks can get a hold of you easily. All right, so we have two last questions. As I end these episodes, I'm asking these two last questions for these women. And the first question is there something you can give to the community? Meaning, and you already do a lot, so this is just a way for us to get to know more women. I don't want to put more work on you because you're doing a lot already. But if there was somebody that reached out to you and asked for something, what is it that you could give? It could be an Instagram like, it could be a TikTok follow, it could be, it could be reading a script, giving notes on a reel. Is there something that you feel like you could give to somebody if they reached out?
If they reach out, it could be like any advice. You're more
Great.
than welcome to reach out to me for any questions. I never avoid anybody, related to
Amazing.
that, so
Yeah.
never a closed door. So if you ever, want to reach out to me, if it's for, feedback for writing or scripts or just looking for locations or anything like
Oh,
that, I
great.
can help you, navigate that. So yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. And then the last question is, if somebody in our community had the thing that would get you to the next level, the next step, what would that be? What's the one thing you either need or want right now in this moment to help you on your career?
Oh my God. It's like in terms of any collaborations or anything, related to even the project that we're working on right now for license registration. If they want to be a part of it, if they have any resources, like it's solely open
What
to related
resources
to
are you
that.
looking for? Are you looking for like
Oh,
money or just film
yes, it'd
equipment?
probably
Just
be
money.
for
Great.
like funding and,
Great.
because I'm so used to, using providing my own funding or getting, resources, outsiders.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely if it's something that you're feel connection to and you want to be a part of it, we're totally open to that. So
Perfect.
yeah.
That's amazing. All right, we're putting it out there. If anybody has that connection or has that ability, contact Danielle. We'll put her contact information in the notes here. Danielle, thank you so much. This was
Uh,
awesome.
Thank you, Ashley. You're a blessing. Thank you for having me on this program, and
Of
I can't wait for the
course.
next episode to see the next guest.
Awesome.
So I'm
Well,
a
thank you
fan.
so much.